my name is Cathy. I grew up in New Mexico, which you may have visited, but I went to college in Minnesota and Indiana before I finally moved to Denver. My favorite thing about Denver is the mountains. There are a lot of mountains in New Mexico where I grew up, but there aren't any mountains in Minnesota and Indiana. It's completely flat. So the mountains here remind me of home. I have 6 brothers and sisters, and they live all over the country, so I don't get to see them much, but I really enjoy going to visit them. I'm in college still because I really like math and I want to learn as much about it as I can. But studying math isn't the only thing that I like to do. I also like reading, crochet, baking cookies, playing with my cats, and running. The funny thing about running is that when I was in middle school, I couldn't even run a mile, and now I can run a marathon, which is over 26 miles. That took a lot of hard work, training, and perseverance, which is something you also need to be good at math. Here's a problem that I think you could do if you put in enough hard work. Okay, here's the problem. What we're going to do is pick a number, and I'm going to start with 3. And we're going to make a sequence of numbers based on this. And the way we're going to do that is if the number we have is odd, we're going to multiply by 3 and add 1. If it's even, we're going to divide it by 2. And then we'll repeat with whichever number we get after that. So let's see what happens. 3 is odd. So I multiply by 3 and add 1. I get 10. 10 is even. So I can divide by 2. I get 5. 5 is odd. Multiply by 3. Add 1. 16. 16 is even. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 8 is even. 8 divided by 2 is 4. 4 is even. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And 2 is even. Okay, 2 divided by 2 is 1. Once we get down to 1, we can actually stop the sequence. And the question is, no matter what number we start with, in this case we started with 3, are we always going to end up getting back down to 1? So let's try another number and see what happens. Let's try 7. Well, again, 7's odd, so we multiply by 3 and add 1. We get 22. 22 is even, so we divide. We get 11. And if we keep going, these are the numbers that we're going to get. We get 34, 17, 52, 26, 13, 40, 20, 10, 5, 16, 8, 4, 2, and 1. So we actually did get back to 1, which is great. If we try some other small numbers, it again looks like we always come back to 1. But the problem is, nobody actually knows if this is true, no matter what number we start with. This problem's been around for 75 years, and it's called the Collat's conjecture. A conjecture is a mathematical idea or statement that nobody's been able to prove yet. We don't know for sure if it's true for every possible number we could start with. Now, like I said, this problem has been around for 75 years and no one knows a solution. So there are people offering cash prizes if you can prove that this is true or find some number that you start with that won't go down to 1. Problem with this is that computers have checked all of the numbers up to about 10 to the 18th, which is a really, really big number. So this is a problem that I encourage you to work on. Try some small numbers, see what happens, see if you can figure out some of the patterns. And if you come up with anything, come talk to me. And we can see if maybe we can go about claiming one of those cash prizes.